right, coming up, may I present to you a married couple that hasn't had a fight in decades. Can you believe it? Well, these relationship experts, they're breaking down the 3 keys to a successful marriage. Smiling is one of them, I think. We'll be right back. Now to some sage advice that many of us could probably use, the secrets to a healthy marriage.
Well, our next guests are good people to ask about that. Authors Dr. Willie Jolley and his wife, Dee Taylor-Jolley, have been married for 37 years, and they tell us they haven't had a fight in 35 years.
Together, they share their wisdom online in their weekly Jolly Marriage Show, and they're here with us in the studio. Dr. Willie, Dee, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
First things right out of the box, 37 years, no fights in 35. What were those first 2 years like?
World War III.
We had not figured it out.
Yeah, well, first we want to thank you for having us.
Of course.
And then we want to thank God for the opportunity to be able to hopefully help some marriages not just survive, but thrive.
Mm-hmm.
So the answer is that people ask all the time, have you really been 35 years without arguing?
Yeah.
But before I answer that question, I want to first give statistics. So most marriages break up within 7 years, statistically. Most divorces happen. 50% of marriages in America break up, as we all know. And then of the 50% that remain,
40% of them are miserable. So why are they together?
Yeah.
Is it the money? Is it until the kids are 18 or out of the house? You don't really know, but they're miserable. But they don't have to be.
Okay.
Well, let's dig in.
What are the 3 major pressure points in a marriage?
Before I get there, I want to make sure.
We're going to run out of time, so you got to get there.
We're going to get there.
Clock's running.
Yeah.
But I want to give you these couple things first. First, that it is true that we have not had a argument in over 35 years. Now, those first couple of years were like World War III. But some people misunderstand that or mishear that. They say, you've never had an argument? No, that's not true. We have had an argument. We've learned some wise systems from mentors. And I say something in my speeches that I want people to hear. There are 2 ways to get to any goal: mentors and mistakes. If you don't do them, you're going to end up with knots upside your head. So you want to have mentors. And what we did was wrote a book that's a book of mentor systems that works. And this was not a book we were planning to write, was it?
No, our son encouraged us because he would talk to his friends and he would say, well, I never heard my parents argue. And I was like, that's a lie.
So what do couples need to keep in mind? I don't want to run out of time.
Well, what couples need to keep in mind is there are 3 pressure points: sex, money,
Communication, which is the common thread through all of it, through the sex and the money.
What if you have different styles of communication? Some people want to talk it out immediately. My husband wants to go and think about it. I'm like, I don't want you to think about it. I want to talk about it now.
Well, there are different styles of communication. The key is that you get systems. So what we talked about in the book is systems. Let me say this. I've been blessed to be able to speak to major corporations all over the world. I wrote the book, A Setback, Set Up for a Comeback. And I'm grateful that I've been able to travel, and I'm part of the syndicated morning show, Get Up Mornings with Erica Campbell. I have my XM show. But we have found that there are systems that work, that make your marriage work. And see, many people have bad systems like stonewalling. I'm done talking, or the silent treatment. Bad, or I think you should know what I'm thinking. Those are bad systems.
So you have to listen. So if one says, I'm not going to talk, another says, I want to talk and I want to run after you, you have to take a deep breath and you have to be willing to listen and have patience.
So communication is the biggest problem in marriage. It's the biggest problem in marriage. So what we did when we wrote the book, the biggest chapter is communication. So we give that chapter away to any and everybody because we want to save 1 million marriages and enhance 1 million marriages.
How do you give it away?
Well, go to ajollymarriage.com, ajollymarriage.com,
Okay.
and get that chapter. And if you get the book, get 2 copies, one for each of you, or get the audio book so that y'all can grow together.
And the next time you're back, we'll talk about sex.
Dr. Willie and Dee,
We got a whole lot to talk about sex.
Thank you for being with us.
Absolutely.
All right.